Have you ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or stuck wasting time in admin instead of growing, leveraging, and scaling your business? Then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate, the podcast that's all about handing off what you don't need to do so you can focus on what you do best. So here's your host, Bonnie Schutz.
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Bonnie Schutz, of the podcast, Delegate to Elevate, Get Done. I am back again today, bringing in a guest that I know well. This is someone that subcontracts for my agency. I would like you to welcome Ali Valdes. Hi, Ali.
Hi.
So I'll tell you a little bit more about her and why I brought her on as a subcontractor, and she has not disappointed. I'll tell you that from the get. So Ali Valdes is a fractional COO and online business manager specializing in helping service-based founders streamline operations, scale sustainability, and create businesses that don't depend on constant hustle. Thank you. She's passionate.
Amen.
Yes, preach. She's passionate about building smart systems that free up time and drive growth. Did I say that? Drive growth. Anyway, Ali is like, we could probably go on and on and on about her repertoire and what she does and, you know, what she doesn't do. But she nailed it in a couple sentences. So thank you for keeping it short, keep it simple, but it's impactful because that's what we need. That's what professional services want, is exactly what you provide. So
yes.
I will start by telling people that Ali, like I mentioned, is a member of my team. And I can't remember how we met. I might have put an ad out there.
Yeah, an ad on LinkedIn.
Yes, an ad on LinkedIn. God, I love it, LinkedIn. So I'm super picky about who I bring on my team. I'm just going to say, they have to be smart. They have to be intuitive. They have to be respectful. They have to be, have a little sense of humor, be able to slough some things off, work in tandem behind the scenes with the team that we have. And, she encompasses all that and then some. So I'm super happy. I won't say excited. I always find myself saying, I'm so excited about this guest today. I'm like trying to re-script that every time I talk, but I'm happy as there we go. Happy as hell to have Ali on the show today because we can not only talk about how she delegates or may delegate things in her own business because she's not just a support person. She herself is a businesswoman and a badass one at that. So I will just say that. And then we can talk to her about how people delegate to her and what they have found or discovered because of what they've delegated, how much time and freedom she's given back. But I'll let her give us more examples. But please, Ali, expand upon where you come from, how you came to this kind of a role, and anything else you'd like to share with the audience today.
So my background is in office management. I used to do that at brick and mortar companies and did a real shift right when the pandemic happened. I was like, there's got to be more to life than just working for someone else.
Yes.
And, just clocking in and just trying to survive. I was like, I wanted more. So I did start my own business and, definitely difficult the first few years. Like it's hard to market yourself, to find clients, to do all the things, to be the only one available to do all the things. And then also trying to work still at your full-time job. It's a lot.
It is.
I get it.
Been there too.
And also be a mom, right? And also try to take care of all of those things at the same time too. So it's a lot, but I really enjoy systems. I really enjoy processes. I really enjoy streamlining and organizing things. So this is just kind of another branch of that part of my personality. Just branch it off into your business.
Yes.
So systems, love them.
Okay. Yes, I know that about you.
Yes.
I will just quickly say that, yes, for the clients that she supported on my team, they have added hours to work more with her. She's had rave reviews and feedback, and I can't lift her up any higher. So thank you from me personally. So fractional COO and online business manager, what's the difference?
So an online business manager and a fractional CEO are kind of the same thing. People just use different terminology because they think of it in different ways. So really it's just your second in command type of person, somebody who can help you with the high level management of your actual business and team so that you can focus on making the money and bringing in the clients. And all that. Yes, all of that. And I help with strategy. I help with your metrics to make sure that you're doing the right things at the right time, that you have the right people in the right seats. Someone who's actually looking at operationally what can be eliminated, what can be streamlined, what can be automated. Just somebody that's helping you look at your business in a different way than you can as the owner.
Cool. Very cool. So did you get your OBM or online business manager certification or something?
I
actually
self-proclaimed. Right. I'm self-proclaimed. I'm self-proclaimed from having 20 years of experience in the industry.
Yes, so that's me.
I might not have a little certificate that says that I'm certified in these things, but I have the experience to back it up, right?
I love that because you and me are mano a mano on that regard. When I became a VA, when I heard about what a VA was, I had a misconception, right? So I'm like, okay, I worked for 30 years in corporate and I supported executives that traveled. So what was I? I was a VA. So that's how I quote unquote sold and marketed myself in the beginning when I was a recruiter mostly, but then filled in the gaps with VA support. I did it already. So I said, I am a VA. And then stepping into being a CEO without, the imposter syndrome there was real.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm just quote unquote a secretary. No, nobody's just a secretary. I was an office manager too, which the funny part is, I don't know if it's a little bit of an age gap. I don't know. I really like the secretarial assistant side rather than the tech side.
Right.
Admittedly, I'm going to need you to step up in my business someday, but we'll talk about that later. Because I've had partners and it's just me at the helm now and doing this podcast. This maybe can relate to others. So I have that agency. I'm doing this podcast and I'm going into a JV, a joint venture. Not junior varsity. Which I was on a junior varsity cheerleader.
Got to spit out that terminology so everyone knows.
Joint venture in the business world. Yeah. So I'm giving about 30% to Tandem. So don't tell anybody else on the team, not like they can't hear this, but please to them, I'll just say this, that is why. And you're going to find that a lot of business people are scrappy and we do multiple businesses or we do multiple things to create a diversified income, right?
Exactly.
And so having an online business manager or fractional COO when you're minus a partner in your business, which I am, I've had two amicably divorced. And one was I just recorded a podcast with one. The other one might be coming back, just saying. But not as a partner, but just coming into the business, which is, I'm so excited. That's the never burn the bridges thing,
100%.
But what I love about what you do and this whole idea of a fractional COO or online business manager is when I, as a solopreneur, am at my wit's end and I'm ready to just jump. Let me out, close 100%. It down. Yeah.
Sometimes you just need somebody to vent to. Like Amen. I've had so many times my clients are just like venting, I'm having all these problems and you're like their therapist, which you need someone else to be like you, someone else who can see what's happening in the business the same as you can and can relate and can listen to you.
Oh, it's more about just taking the leap for me. I have delegated a lot in my business and it's just taking that risk and bringing somebody high level, which isn't that a software program?
Go high level.
I have no idea what that is. I'm sure you know what it is. But so you work with people on software. Now that's a good little segue. So you work on how they can delegate their mindset to some automations as well. What does that kind of look like? Or what is your experience with, or the people's mindset when you're like, let's automate that? What do they say?
Yeah, I mean, well, delegation is a skill. It's not really a personality trait.
Absolutely.
You have to learn how to do that. Some people think that they're bad at delegating, but it's really just like lack of practice. So in my mind, I'm thinking...
I'm going to quote you on that.
In my mind, I'm thinking, you have a process that you're going through. And if you're repeating that process daily, twice, even if you do it twice, 3 times, you should be documenting that process. First of all, with your SOPs, and then figuring out how can I streamline this process? Because we have so many processes that have fat just sitting all around the process, things you don't actually need to do, but you don't take the time to actually walk through the process and think through it. So you're there wasting time on things that are tedious or not needed.
Right.
A lot of people just have a problem with prioritizing. They're just not good at that. So it also goes hand in hand with delegation.
Yeah. I don't have a boss I can ask, can you tell me which of these 5 tasks I should prioritize? I have to make that decision, and it's hard.
100%.
Because everything seems important. Everything feels like a fire.
It
And
does.
you have to have somebody like you to come in and help me, like, oh my gosh, this is a fire that's blue, this is orange, and this one's red. Which one is the most important? I would think the blue one, because if I know a fire, the blue is darkest, so that's the hottest.
Yeah.
Do you have do color coding, that kind of systems, or what is like kind of a day in the life? I mean, I know you did a day in the life little series for my agents, and I got to see some photo images of that. But say you just onboarded a new client, you started working with them, and they've said, go do what you need to do. Like where do you start, or what do you look at first?
Honestly, looking where they're spending most of their time. That's
money.
My first thing. I always like to do like a sort of time audit, like where are you spending all your hours? And then look at those systems. So are you spending a lot of time in onboarding? Is it because you don't have a CRM set up properly that is spitting out emails based on people filling out forms or paying you something or whatnot? So looking at those types of things, then looking at how many different software tools are you using? Are you even using those tools you're paying for? Which is a big one.
Yeah.
You just are paying, but you don't even know what you're paying for.
We don't know we're paying for. Yeah.
You don't even know what the capabilities are fully of that system. So you're just like, okay, I'm just going to keep paying.
You're using this much of it when you've got this much. Yeah.
Exactly. All the time. That happens all the time. I see it, because people really don't understand that you are getting the tools in order to facilitate your process, not the other way around. Like, nice shiny tool, let me follow it over here. But is that part of your process, or do you actually need that? And I don't think that people really take the time to look at those things. So
evaluating time is really good to think about. So I think, and what I'll tell to everybody, it's not just when you have an admin support or a COO or a business manager. It's any kind of thing that you delegate out, your marketing, your bookkeeping. It's all that. You do have to make a time investment, but time is money, and you will get that back threefold when you hand that off your plate. Just saying.
Sure. I mean, delegation is really self-care in disguise. You're giving yourself so much time back. So much.
Keep on giving me quotes for my social media.
I mean, it really is. If you think about it, like, you don't want to have to earn your freedom. You want to actually build the people up to take the processes and run without you. Yeah. Like, that's the whole purpose.
There's people that love to do things that you don't love to do. And that's sometimes hard to believe. Like, why would anybody love bookkeeping? Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hated math, but there are people that love it. So why not give it to the people that love it instead of suffered through it yourself? Oh my gosh.
100%.
I love these nuggets. I call them golden nuggets. Don't know where the hell I came up with that name, but I just keep saying that over and over. So you've dropped some great golden nuggets of wisdom for our listeners today. So what about your own business? You are a CEO on top of these other things of your own business. And it's Ali Valdes. Tell me what's the
Ali Valdes Operations Management.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay. And so did you start there trying to find your own clients and then become scrappy, and go and then be open to subcontracting and that kind of thing? Okay.
Yes. Yes. I think I had to kind of change the way that I looked at my business.
Yeah.
To realize that wasn't failure, right? To go through an agency.
It's a success.
I'm looking at the big picture of, like you said, diversifying my income and making sure I have lots of different ways that I'm serving clients. And I feel like once I made that switch in my mind, like, you don't have to do it all yourself.
Right.
You don't have to do it all yourself. Like, I was like, okay, so let me figure this out. And that's when I started to incorporate not just having my own clients, but also agencies, because really, it's just more exposure for you.
Free marketing.
People are seeing you this way, and I'm doing, like, my business does a different thing than what Tandem does. So they're seeing you. They're like, oh, you do these two things too. I know I need that. I need.
You're doing more of a rock star on your LinkedIn. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Like, I think it really helps. And just changing my mindset around that. Like, you don't have to try to do it all yourself. Sometimes, like, that's not your path. That it's just like, because, everybody, we're in the world of entrepreneurs where everybody seems like they're overnight successes. They're easily getting clients. It's super simple for them. Like, how are they doing that? And I'm like, you probably just are not seeing the behind the scenes of what's actually happening.
When they go and cry on their pillow at noon.
Yes, exactly. Where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do.
That relatability and the thought of having somebody like you, because they can just, if they are solopreneurs, there are those moments where you could become their therapist. And that is something missing in my business. And my poor husband, I always say I would vomit on him at the end of the day when he comes home from work, that we had to set this boundary. He's like, can I sit down for an hour? Like 1 hour before you vomit on me all about your company. I'm like, oops.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, honey. And then I just sit here at my desk going, is it an hour yet? Is it an hour yet? I got to tell somebody. Oh my God, Al, you are just making the case for me. I need you. And I mean, so I also have a question about this. So when you started working for other people, having clients and things like that, did you, as the CEO of your own business, find it hard or have parts in your business you didn't want to do that you might have delegated to your child or your neighbor or your mom?
Yes, definitely.
You did.
Like social media was one.
Okay.
Like social media really drains me. Like
you're
being
good
on
at it though. You're so
like,
good at it.
Yeah, I think it's just like I had to figure out like a rinse and repeat type of like, idea. Like I had to really kind of like reach out for what I could to social media managers to get more like insight, sign up for different courses so that I could like teach myself how I could do this in a more systematic way, that I could just batch content. Then I put it in the little whatever later type of item or whatever, and it sends it automatically.
Yes.
Like whatever program or platform you can use to do that would
so
be
you delegated to automation, or you delegated to 100%.
I dedicate. Delegating to automation is easy because you don't have to have another person that you're explaining things to. All you need to do is just write it in there.
Okay, I will confess that ChatGPT has become my therapist, my BFF.
It is the best. And you can train it to do so much for you.
Have you named your ChatGPT? I have.
Oh, no, I haven't named it.
So I had her help. It's a her. I had her help me with her name. And I said, give me the top 10. I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent, but it's fun. Make it fun, people.
All right.
I asked her, I said, give me the top 10 female names in Great Britain or England. And she listed them all off. I chose Pippa. And then I did not know until I found out that I can talk to her on my phone. And I said, I need Pippa. I need you to have a British accent. So she talks in a British accent to me. It's absolutely fabulous.
That's hilarious.
So she is now my business partner because I use her daily. Not use, I don't abuse, I use.
Yeah.
But that's an automation. That's a tool that has saved me. I am not kidding.
Yes.
I've had a bad day. Help me cope with this, and she will. So that's my golden nugget.
Right.
Because
I'm a big fan of ChatGPT as well.
I don't know. It's not replacing us because I still bonify everything. I still make it my own.
Right.
Which is a mistake. And I'm getting to where, and you can probably do this too. You can tell when somebody throws something out there that's made in ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I literally went in there and told her, stop using the rocket ship emoji. I'm sick.
Yeah. Right. Or any emojis. That's what I told I'm like, I don't want emojis. No emojis. Good. None of that.
That's not, you get them the hell out of there.
Yeah. I was like, none of that, because
and don't start emails with the word, hey.
Yeah.
That is not me. I don't say, hey, Bob, what the hell's happening?
I mean, you've got to train it.
You do.
Have to train it.
And that's a whole nother Oprah for another guest that's coming on. I've got a couple AI guests coming on.
Oh, nice.
That we are just going to dive even deeper into. We're not going to rocket ship. We're going to dive.
All right.
So what is your favorite online tool that you use with all your clients? Are you trying to get them to use?
Well, it would have to either be HoneyBook for CRM. I've been using HoneyBook for years, and their platform just keeps getting better and better. And they have an app that you use on your phone, which is always great. If you can use it, you got an app for your phone, like I'm pretty much sold.
Let me be remote.
So
let me work for the beach.
And project management, I mean, I really love Monday.com. I'm a certified Monday.com specialist. So I always say something about Monday.com or Asana. I'm an Asana ambassador. So Asana is also good.
Nice. Okay.
Very like user-friendly tools. I really am very visual. So I like colors. I like things to fly across the screen. When I've completed something,
you feel like such a sense of accomplishment when it flies across the screen.
Yes,
I do.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Who doesn't love to check out things on the to-do list?
Yeah. It's like we were right in tandem there. I was going to say it's like the old school checklists, but now it's the let that thing fly. And if it makes a sound like a whoosh, that's even better. That just makes my heart flutter.
Exactly.
Whoosh, off my list.
It's like a dopamine shot right there.
And Lord knows we can use that dopamine during our work day for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
For something productive and not for like picking up your phone and scrolling, you know.
Oh my gosh. No, but a minute ago I asked you about delegation and we went into like the tools. Have you delegated to any people in your business?
In my business, I have delegated. I've only had one person help me with social media for a little bit, and
that's right.
I ended up taking it back because I feel like I was revamping my business at the time. Like, okay, I'm not going to go this direction. I'm going to go this direction. So it doesn't make sense to continue with that if you're not sure on the direction that you're going.
That makes sense. And like you said, delegation is not just something you can jump right into. And you can be creative about the way you delegate. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. I mean, don't force it. But I always talk about delegation being on like a spectrum. And I mentioned the 12-pound weight or the bodybuilder. You know, you could just stick with the 12-pound weight and delegate to tools online or and what the consensus seems to be is that the first thing people delegate or get a professional service on is bookkeeping. I took a poll. I've asked every podcast guest, and that's kind of been the consensus. So if you want anybody listening really wants to find a gig, be a bookkeeper because everybody's delegating to bookkeepers.
I actually do my own bookkeeping because I've been using QuickBooks for 20 years. So like to me, I know how to use it. So but
careful what
probably
you say.
when I start making even more money, which is the plan, right? Then I will definitely have to give that off to someone because it'll be too many numbers. But right now I'm still like, I still got it.
Good. Oh, so you're what do they call it? A multi-potentialite?
Yes, that sounds very exciting.
How come I can remember words like that, but I cannot remember what the hell I ate for breakfast? Anyway, that comes with age. Just wait when that time in your life comes. But anyway, no, I feel like I'm a lot younger because I'm supported and I surround myself with people like you who are just so amazing and so resourceful and valuable to a team like mine. And I know amazingly valuable to people that need help in their businesses. So don't hesitate, peeps. Do it. Just do it. Oops. I hope that's not a branded word, a branded phrase, because I know I won't even say the company name. Everybody knows who's that belongs to. It's just words, right? Am I allowed? I am. No, we'll bleep it out if I'm not allowed.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know either. I usually say like, I start singing that song from that famous movie. I start singing Let It Go. Like all the time on these episodes, I'm like, am I going to get in trouble for that? I'm not like, I definitely don't sound like her, or I definitely don't say what it's from.
Right.
It's just a song, right? And
Slippery
it's 3
slope.
words I put
Who
together.
knows?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let's see. What I usually ask to close out is if you were to give my stupid little phrase 2 golden nuggets, let's call them 2 amazeballs takeaways that people can take away from today, or give them your 2 best tips or tricks even to grow their delegation muscles if that is what they desire. What might they be in your opinion?
I would say definitely delegate outcomes, not tasks.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I need a client onboarded by Friday, not send this email. Like give them what you need and let them get there. Like go to the place where I get my outcome and not necessarily delegating tasks. And then I would say you need to document it the second time that you would have to explain it. So if you're explaining something all the time, why are you not documenting it so you don't have to explain it? You'd be like, here's a loom. Here's an SOP.
I haven't done that today.
I mean, take yourself out of the process. It's like you remove yourself as the bottleneck when you allow the information to flow somewhere not through you.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Golden. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. And I just want to tell everybody out there that if you have more questions or something specific to talk about operationally that Allie could address for you, I'm happy to invite her back to be a guest again. So drop that in the comments, send me a DM or something. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me today. I'm so happy to have you on my team. And, you know, I have delegated to elevate with you. Definitely.
Thanks.
Everybody out there, please listen, like, subscribe, follow, and leave us a review because I want to hear how I'm doing because I don't know if you don't tell me. That's the feedback we need.
Excellent.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again, Allie.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Bye-bye.
So that's it for today's episode of Delegate to Elevate. Head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $15,000 private VIP day with Bonnie herself. Be sure to head on over to delegatetoelevatepodcast.com. That's with the number 2. And pick up a free copy of Bonnie's Gift. And join us on the next episode.